Hey, Tom here. Welcome to my channel, Tom Loves DIY. Today I'm going to show you how to make this versatile pot stand that breaks down into 4 parts. I'm showing you here with a 3-part version for a small pot. If you have a larger pot, you can add a piece. Pretty cool. Goes together pretty easily. You get the tabs lined up, and now put on larger pot. Let's go to the workshop, show you how it's made. I made a template, basically just a piece of cardboard, carefully measured, marked off. And then I transferred it onto this flashing, and I will cut them out with my shop scissors. I've cut out the 4 pieces. Now keep in mind, this material is really thin, and so you'll want to cut off these sharp corners. They can be pretty dangerous, and as you're cutting it, be careful that you don't cut some little thin pointy pieces and end up stabbing yourself in the finger. It hurts a lot. I've done it before. So next I need to make slots so that these can go together like so. And in the template, those slots are 1/2 inch in, 1/2 inch from the top and 3/4 from the bottom. Next thing, I drilled small holes at the end of each line where the slots are going to be. That'll allow me to cut that and have a way to fold in the little flap that it makes. I'll show you how that works in a minute. Here's how I make the slots. And please, no comments about the tool I'm using. It's my tool. I get to do what I want. I made a jig. There's a small slot cut here, and exactly 1/2 inch away I've put 2 finishing nails. The finishing nails will hold it in place so that the slot underneath lines up exactly with the line on top. So the distance between the center of those 2 holes is about 3/4 of an inch. So I put this in place, and then I use a chisel. Yeah, I know, shouldn't do that, but I'm going to. And I set it in place on the line in between the 2 holes. Line it up and take a small hammer, and that's all it takes. And you have a really nice slot made in the top of that. Then I'll take my favorite pocket knife, slide that in there, and start bending those up. Pretty easy, because the one on the outside, where the slot is going to go in, needs to be raised up a little. The one on this side needs to be down a little. And if you have a small screwdriver, you can use that as well. I've got all the tabs and slots done and fit them together. They're pretty close. And it'll still sit flat. Now remember, the pot sits inside to have some means of support, obviously. Some of the other stands I've seen use a couple of rods that go across there, and I've got these stainless steel rods that would work nicely. Could punch 4 holes or 2 holes in each one so that it's universal, but I don't want to have extra pieces laying around that can get lost. So I think I'm going to work up a integrated pot stand that will be little angle pieces in here. Probably have to do 4 of them. We'll see how that goes. I made a drawing of the wire tabs I'm going to make. There are going to be 4 of these. And I used this initial drawing to make the first tab. Then I used this one to make 3 more. These go behind this and be attached on the sidewall. This will go against the curved pieces, and this can move back and forth and get out of the way when not in use. Come out, pot will rest on there nicely. I think that should work pretty well. Set your piece there, put a piece of the wire on top of it, and then just tap it in to the slot. Till it fits in all the way. You can see that is now a nice little bump out that this fits in beautifully. I've made 4 of these brackets and stainless steel pieces that will go around the perimeter, and when it's in use they'll be folded out. When it's not in use they'll be folded down, and I'm going to attach those to the sides. I've sanded off what appears to be a coating on this flashing and also marked it so that I will have an exact reference to put this piece. The vertical line is exactly halfway in between, and the other is 8.5 centimeters from the bottom. That's what I've found is the optimal distance for the stoves that I make from the squirt cheese cans. So I'll put those 4 on. I'll use JB Weld, and I've got a bunch of clamps that I will use. A bunch of these little bitty clamps that I've been gifted with by Santa Claus over the years. Really handy. They'll work perfectly for this. It's been overnight, about 20 hours. I'd like to give JB Weld plenty of time. And this seems to have worked pretty well. These were a little bit glued in. I was a little nervous about that, but I was able to just bend them back and forth a little bit and get them to move. So they all now are working fine. I'll be able to put them together. I'm going to show you how that goes and how the pot fits. I put the 4 pieces together, and you can see that the tabs are sticking out at about 90 degrees. And I'm going to put my 900 millimeter Toaks pot on there. See, it sits stable and sturdy. And I've got that 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch extra diameter around the outside, and it sits down about a centimeter into the stand. You may notice there are some marks around the bottom because I'm going to be using my antique hole punch to put 2 or 3 holes in 3 rows on the bottom, because you've got to have some air coming in. This sitting on the ground would starve the stove of oxygen. It wouldn't be working very well. So there you have it. My 4-piece or 3-piece, if you're using it with a small pot, pot stand, 1.3 ounces for all 4 pieces together. Pretty stable, works well. I'd say that the drawbacks on this are the material is very lightweight and thin, which contributes to that 1.3 ounces. So you have to be a little careful with it. And I think other stands might be a little bit more stable. But this gives you your pot stand and a windscreen all in one at a really low price, just a little bit of work, and hey, isn't that the fun of it? Do it yourself. Thanks for watching.